Welcome back to Big Mouth, and fancy seeing you here. I loved the Titans pilot. In fact, I reviewed it here on my channel months ago, but because I was watching it through another way. It's now available, Titans, the whole series on Netflix internationally. So I'm going to watch the whole thing. So I rewatched the pilot. Now, as much as I love the pilot, and I do, the introduction of the way they introduce Rachel and Dick Grayson and Starfire, I love it. I think it's all great. It's all very compelling stuff and exciting. But the one flaw with the Titans pilot, and I suspect it's a flaw that will carry out throughout the season, all the villains and all the thugs are men. I do not like this. So they do this on purpose, right? SJW producers. Now, who's the biggest SJW producer in the business? Greg Berlanti. Of Greg Berlanti, everything. Now, Greg is a great producer. I don't dislike him. He's a really good writer. He was involved with Eli Stone, one of my favourite shows, not a very famous show, starring Johnny Lee Miller. But basically, right, Greg Berlanti is an SJW and he loves seeing women beat up on men. So there's no female villains in these worlds. It's all men. So basically what happens is it's the all men suck kind of situation. So you've got that kind of guy who kills Rachel's stepmother. And then, I'll tell you what, one of the most despicable moments is when Starfire literally burns all those people alive, all those men, should I say, and then she looks at them and smiles. No remorse, no regret. I know they're villains. I know they wanted to kill her. But the smug look on her face. The best shows, the best films are the ones when the character has regret in their eyes. It's a bit like Man of Steel when Zod wipes out the Jor-El artificial intelligence. And if you look into Shannon's eyes, it's something he had to do, but it's the regret in his eyes. It's great acting and it's great writing as well. So to actually see a so-called hero smiling after she's burnt everyone alive, for me was very concerning. But what's the undertone of the message there? Well, it's an SJW message. It's okay to kill men because all men are bad. And this is the problem, and this is what Hollywood is doing right now. Why can't we have females for the females to beat up on as well as men? Why is it just men? Because it's ideology again seeping in. It's the hatred for men. And the worst thing is, it's men writing this. It's men controlling these shows. And they think they're doing something amazing. I don't know if Berlanti thinks all those men are Donald Trump and he's beating them up. But that isn't actually Donald Trump. I don't like Trump myself. But that is just random male actors. And you're actually kind of passing and spreading the wrong diluted messages. Young girls are going to be watching that thinking, hey, that's totally badass to beat up men. You know what? Words absolutely fail me. That these people are in charge of these great IPs. And I told you, I liked it. I liked Titans. I really did. And I'm looking forward to the rest of the season. And I can't wait. But the point being is, right, it's just so grating to see people who shouldn't really be involved with these things, putting their SJW hands in and saying, yeah, let's have all the girls beating up the men. Let's have men do terrible things to women because that's all right, because then we can get the women to beat up the men. It's totally the wrong message. And actually, moving away from that, because I don't want to stay, I know the video is called The One Flaw with the Titans pilot, but the one thing I will say is I do have a theory that the Titans and the DC Universe streaming service shows are part of the DCEU movieverse. Now, I'm sure someone somewhere can comment down below and straight away kind of shatter my illusions about that, but I do believe it seems like a very similar world. So it's very interesting if we'll ever see the DC streaming service kind of worlds and the DCEU movie universe collide somehow. That'll be very interesting. I certainly think that Arrowverse has nothing to do with DCEU, and that's an obvious statement. So that's very exciting. So we'll see how that develops as the streaming service develops too. So absolutely loving Titans, but give the girls some girls to beat up as well. Come on, let's send some positive messages here and stop it. Stop it.